everybody, I'm here to do a quick little tutorial. Well, I'm not sure how quick and little it'll be, but what I've been asked to do is to show how I cut and assemble inserts for my Chic Sparrow Nano. The inserts that I have purchased, there's a monthly insert, a weekly insert with a flap. These come from a wonderful Etsy seller that makes lots of different digital downloads. And I print these double-sided. I have a duplexing printer, which makes it easier. If you have trouble with that, there's lots of different tutorials because every printer is different. See how there's this lovely little hashtag, these little hashes here? Hashes, whatever you call those. That one there, and these here. If you have a single blade cutter, kind of like this Fiskars, they come in lots of different colors and styles. Mine just happens to be the black one. But what you can see, at least I hope you can see, there's a wire. It's really hard to see. See how there's a wire in there? What I do with these is, let me get the blade there. What I do is I use that wire and line it up with these little marks that you have down here. What I'll do is I'll zoom in. So if you look down here at the corner, see how you can see that? I'm going to try and line it up as closely and carefully as I can with both. And there is a guard right here. Press your paper up to here to make sure that you're going to be cutting this line. When I mean straight to the parallel to the paper. There we go. Let me zoom back out. Now, what I do, there we go, is these little blades come off. And let me make sure they're both on. What I'll do is and I don't cut the entire length of the paper. You'll see how I cut on that line, but it's still connected, right? And I'll get the blade out of the way. I'll flip it over. And I'll do that exact same step. And I'll do the exact same thing again. So you'll see I have two like that. Now, what I do, sorry, I've got new lights and they're really, really, really hot. And they're creating a strange shadow. There we go. And now I can cut. I've got it lined up here. I can cut all the way across and remove that. Then this side here, again, make sure you're near your guard here. Get it lined up. There we go. Hold down. Now, what you have left is this. And if you've printed back to back, you've got the calendar there, calendar there, calendar here, and a calendar here. And then you'll see there's two last little hash lines. And we're going to line that up. And there you've got actually 4 months. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to come back after I do a bunch of these. I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut a bunch of pages more, and now I'm down to the last cut on the last page, And you'll see that I only printed one on one side. And the reason is to make sure that everything ends up being nice and even. Sorry, I turned the fan on. It was just way too hot today. So here we have all of my pages. Now, what you can do, now this is just for the monthly. You can take each sheet and what I'm doing is folding in half. So that's going to be in my center. And as you can see, I need to get a new blade for my Fiskars cutter. I mean, you can do multiple of these at the same time if you want. And for this, I just used hammer mill paper, and it's the one that has the green apple on it. So it works well with inkjet and laser printers. And it's, I think, like 28-pound paper. And then this is the one that I printed one-sided. And then, if you just assemble them, insert one in another. And you can bind these any way you want. What I do is I have, because I make inserts, I have this right here. You can see it's a saddle stapler, and it's made by Boss Stitch, BOSTITCH. And what I do is, now you can cover these with your favorite cardstock or scrapbook paper or whatever you want, or you can even stitch them with like needle and thread. And so here you have your, let me make sure you can see. So there's your month. And since we printed on one side, you then have a good beginning. So you have quite a few. There you go. So that is how you would do a monthly calendar. Now the same thing goes for the weeklies. Again, you've got the same little marks up here and here and here and here, and then the one to cut. So I'm going to cut those the same way I did the last. I'll be right back. Okay, now we're back. I have all of the weeks cut. Now when you purchase the week on 2-page file, she sends you 2 different types. She sends you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday notes with a little grid flap, and that's what the reverse side looks. So it's exactly the same except the flap's on the other side. And then I printed again one that was just one-sided, so I don't have like half of a week at the beginning of my book. And then the other file you get is just this: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday notes. So here I've got a flap here. And then I've got one without a flap. Well, actually, there we go. Flap there. So that way, each week has a flap. So you can see the first page I printed, I laid down, you can see it's blank. I had that one be my bottom page. Okay? Then I flipped it over so you would have a flap on the left, then a flap on the right, flap on the left, flap on the right. Now, the easiest way to fold this is if you know the size of the Nano insert. And so what I did was, where's my month? The month that I made. Since I cut those the right dimensions, fold them half, and stapled them, that lets me know how far I have to fold. One thing that you can do is first stack all of these together so the flap is on the same side. So if you're having trouble folding, then this is really hard to show. If you wanted to, you could put your insert there, and that will kind of determine roughly the width of your page. If you have a Martha Stewart scoreboard, you can do that. You know, these I used in my Nano, and they were just kind of like a little throwaway page. So I had the bottom with the flap to the right. Then the next one, I had the flap going to the left, flap to the right, flap to the left, flap to the right, line everything up. And again, you can use a cardstock. I'm not going to because for tutorial purposes. So I stapled in the center. And so now you can see where the flaps are. So an easy, quick way, let me zoom in. I'm going to do a lot of chopping and pasting, is, so there's your first week. And if you want to make sure that you're getting your flap folded the right way, do it that way. There you go. And you can determine whichever way you want these flaps to go. That's what you can do. And you see how we have a short page, so you can then fold your flap in, flap in, I'm gonna make sure that they're all folded well. And you know, this is just your little pocket calendar. There you can see we have our week with a flap, and then we have a flap for this week, and then we have our week with a flap, the flap for this week. And you can assemble this any way you want. You know, if you want some weeks to have a flap, great. If you want some weeks not to have a flap, you know. And then you can see another flap for that week, this flap for this week, and there's the last week. And you can make these have as many inserts as you want. I'm not sure if this has been helpful. I will leave down below a list of the items that I use. I don't know if that was helpful or if it caused more questions. So leave a comment down below if you have any questions, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.